Hmm.
There we go. For whatever reason, OBS just decided to dump my mic settings. Cool. Very cool.
As it wants to do.
Yep. As one is to do.
So BS.
Let me change our overlay too, because I forgot to put the Navara overlay in the SDK
All
Gaming. Right. We are, as you all can tell, we are incredibly professional here over at Track Limits Racing.
Yep.
You're watching
Absolutely.
round 4 of the sports car series here at a very foggy Navara. Looks like we've got some rain in the forecast. Finn, Navara in the rain. What's your feeling on that?
I think it'll be a fantastic time. I love Navara. It's some track we don't really get to see, I think, too much in iRacing in general. So getting a chance to come back here is always a blast. And I know we love, it's one of, I think, the most tracks on the Track Limits Racing series. So getting to be back again is always a good time. The downside to that is that with the rain, it makes it a little bit more unique. And what is already, I think, a pretty technically challenging course gets even more so when you add nice little puddles and runoff that of water to make it even more exciting. You can no longer use the paint that you use so much of usually on the dry lines for this track. So having to really tighten those up is also going to be an interesting challenge to see who can remember to keep the car within the lines this time around. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I also think with the multi-class racing, it's I think it's going to be really interesting. I think this is our first wet race of the season with multi-class, so that's going to be an adjustment, let's say.
Yep. Be a little bit different.
Yeah. But I'm super excited to get stuck into it. We still don't have the overlays for the standings set up. I still got to figure out why OBS won't display the scene correctly, but we can still go over the website details for everybody. And if you're interested at all in following along in your own web browser of choice, you can click that link right there and go over to standings and jump into the view with me and Finn while we are watching folks finish out another 5.5 minutes of free practice. You got the times posted up there right now. Although, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I guess GT3s just are faster in the wet around here.
Yeah, I think that's technically because Tourville has set the fastest lap time right now, which means that GT3s, as we stand, are the fastest class out on track tonight, despite theoretically the LMP3s being faster, which I think will make for some very fun multi-class. We'll talk about multi-class in the rain. I think we talk about multi-class pretty much in general, and it's always one that you have to keep in mind. The speed that really the LMP3s get out of the machines often involve a lot of the aerodynamics you see on that machine. And when you add rain and wet weather, that usually means everybody has to go slower, which means that the whole reason the LMP3s are faster is mostly turned into a null statement.
Yeah.
And it makes it for a very fun experience where both GT3s as well as LMP3s are equally quick in the wet or the dry. It's gonna be, I think, a pretty fun mix-up. Yeah, about 1.5 to 2 seconds faster for the GT3s than the LMP3s at the moment.
Oh boy,
pretty consistently.
It's gonna be great. Anyway, let's dive into these standings. So LMP3 Pro,
yes,
Jack Wilkins on top with 145 points, a 19-point gap between him and Benjamin O'Shea for the top spot. Herbert Pineda Sr. jumping into third with 109 points, leapfrogging Nathaniel Baker. And then we've got Luke Patrick in fifth. So yeah, the standings right now for LMP3 Pro. What are your thoughts so far, Ben?
LMP3 Pro, pretty darn. It's gonna be. I think it'll be an interesting one with Jack Wilkins having a little bit of a lead over Benjamin O'Shea, Herbert Pineda, as well as Nathaniel Baker, getting a little bit of a breathing room there. It is going to be, I think, a bit of an interesting one, especially when you add in the drop rounds later on in the season. A bit of a rough week for Luke Patrick there, in terms of the overall points, and I think it'll be fun to see how he gets back into it as we get into the we get into the fourth round here, and where he can get back points further up the order.
Yeah.
I felt like he
Yeah.
had a pretty decent result last week, but
Yeah.
I might be misremembering.
Yeah, I think there's pockets of action to behold, and I really do feel like the back half of the field. I'm really interested to see what they do when they start to mix things up a little bit later in the season. So
that's a lot of wieners.
All right. Let me double check something real quick. I believe we had somebody else jump in the booth briefly. Nope.
Very briefly, and I think it was someone who then moved themselves properly, I think, back up to the admins.
Yeah. LMP3 AM, we got Jake Fulton with 111 points and a 6-point lead on Sean Sullivan with Paul Miles in third. He's 40 points back. Brenton McFall in fourth, leapfrogs Logan Branson for fifth, Alan Love, Justin Wilming, newcomer, and Rob Edgel, also a newcomer. LMP3 AM up at the front, kind of close, and then Brent McFall and Paul Miles are kind of duking it out. Well, actually, Logan Branson's in striking distance for that third spot, I think.
I think all three of those are in a pretty close battle. Paul Miles, Brent McFall, as well as Logan Branson, each kind of, I think, in it. I wouldn't say you can also keep in Alan Love as well.
Alan Love's pretty close.
I think it's a pretty close four-way fight there. Only about 10 points separating those four drivers. Easily done when the points, I think, can be swung one way or another, especially given how I think the attrition rate of tonight's race will definitely allow for some of those drivers to pick up some good points if they just stick with it and get a good finish and a result as they can.
Let's jump over to the 1 million GT3 cars in season 2. Mike Gallant with Echelon is currently sitting on top with 121 points going into round 4, and he's got a 3-point gap on Tanner Schiffner with 118 points. It is kind of tight in the top 4, 121 to 118, and then Corey Lobner with 116, and then Andrew Mathias with 105. Tommy Kogan with 101, Austin Green with 100 points. I really feel like the top 6 are well within striking distance. So,
top 6. I think, especially when you add in a drop round or two here, that'll only tighten that grouping up even more, given that there is only 5 points split between Mike Gallant and Corey Lobner for actual podium spots as they stand right now. I think it's going to be super interesting to see how they end up. And I would say the whole top 10, I think, could be fighting for the positions within the top 5, at least if not the top 3, once the drop rounds get factored in. Only about 20 points separating the first top 5, and then another 5 points between them down to Gian Cardoso. So I think it'll be an interesting one.
Talking with Gian and Chad, he was the person that jumped in with us. We're getting ready for qualifying. Let's take a look at GT4 Pro. We'll get through GT4 Pro, GT4 AM, try and give them some attention before we get into qualifying. Scott Fleming on top with 139 points. Scott Fleming's had a really good season. And then we've got Robert Lewis, Tim Mello, Jaden Ledbetter, Ethan Hamlet, all within about 12 points of each other. I think that's pretty wild. Jake Hewitt with 54 sitting in 6th. So if you start to factor in drop rounds later in the season, he could definitely sneak back up the order, along with Nick Bowen, Henry Garcia. Paul York in 9th. Newcomer Tim Rosenfield in 10th with Bernardo De Castro. Well, we got a bunch of new folks in the back, and Mike Bowen hasn't been able to join us yet. Any thoughts?
I think it's going to be one of consistency, especially in the back half of the season, with how these drivers are getting underway. The point gap, Scott Fleming just so consistent throughout the first 3 races to give himself a pretty good jump shortly after it's a pretty good jump into this, excuse me. With Robert Lewis and Tim Mello only 3 points away from each other, that's going to be one I'm going to probably see go to the end at this point, especially when you factor in those drop rounds. Jaden Ledbetter as well as Ethan Hamlet, also within 3 points of each other, battling for the spots just off the podium. But there's still, I would say, only 10 points between those two drivers and the drivers up ahead. And so easily done. Drop rounds, I think, are really going to shake up this field. We always usually see it happen for both the GT4 pros and the AM drivers because of the way that this grouping usually sorts itself out. So it'll be fun to see how that applies towards the end of the season as well.
Oh yeah, Jaden commenting that we only have 10 GT3 tonight when there's actually like 4 million of them in the season. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say, Jaden.
Yeah.
I thought they would show up because I didn't realize they'd be faster than LMP3s, but you know.
I felt like they would show up. I'm excited to see how many LMP3s we did get.
Yeah.
For this week. It looks like it's mostly pros minus, I think, Jake Fulton as well as Paul Miles.
Yeah. But let's talk about GT4 AM right now because Chris Turner's on top with 44 points, but he said there's GT4 AM drivers in the lobby today, so rip his chances at winning. F's in chat for Chris, but I think he'll do.
He said survival race on a default wet setup. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
I think
to finish first you must finish. So
yes, absolutely. That was entirely how my race last night went for the Portimao 1000. So I think it's very possible if you simply survive.
Yeah, I think that is also true. That is the wrong data. I wanted to pull up the racing info, but for whatever reason, the timing tower is not showing qualifying information.
Nobody's posted a lap yet.
Oh, no, we are 3 minutes in and no one has posted a lap yet. This bodes so well for qualifying.
A lot of drivers on their first flyers.
Okay. People probably just taking a slow setup lap, feeling out the conditions of the track before they punch it.
The lap times were getting slower over the course of the stint as well. So let's see where it ends up. Looks like some good flyers coming in here in just a moment.
Benjamin O'Shea is going to post a time. Tommy Cogan's going to come in right behind him and then immediately pip the LMP3s with a 151.156, 152.0 for Benjamin O'Shea in the top spot for LMP3.
Only a second behind at the moment. I'm super curious if the track gets to dry out at all, how much closer these two classes, where we get to see that overlap of the classes being faster again at the end of it.
Yep. JQ jumping in the top of GT4 Pro, Robert Lewis. Or no, that's William Lewis in GT4 AM going third fastest overall in GT4. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Brenton McFall, by the way, second place right now in LMP3, but 1.3 seconds back from Benjamin O'Shea. Benjamin O'Shea seems to be the only one getting into the 52s right now.
Yep, as it stands, but they have a couple more minutes to get their laps in. They've got 10 in total to get through as many laps as they basically can slam into this lone qualifying.
Yeah. The excitement camera really just loves Lamborghinis, so I'm gonna just start clicking around for people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Rather than doing it the normal way. Let's go take a peek at some folks with some positive deltas right now. Looking at the data, Tommy Cogan still posting some purple sectors on track. So I think Tommy's looking to try to extend a little bit. Where does Robert Lewis end up posting? He ends up going second fastest in the GT4s. 8/10 back from newcomer Owen O'Brien.
Logan Branson going to get faster in the GT or LMP3 AM category as well.
Jaden's taking some alternate lines. I'm going to suspect that Jaden's not going to get a time when he comes across the line. That looked a little looked a little overdone on the the final sector. Let's go take a peek. Taking a look at some more of the data. Paul Miles posting some personal bests. Let's go see where Paul's at. He's trying to catch Jake Fulton right now, currently 9th in the LMP3s. So Milo the first, struggling a little bit in these conditions. Tyler Torville does manage to leapfrog Tommy Kogan with a 50.869, so 1/100th of a second faster than Tommy Kogan.
Yeah, Tyler Troville, Tommy Kogan. I think we're going to see those two probably battling out coming into turn number 1 here. It's going to be really interesting to see how Too Wide Racing is going to work out with the rain that is currently on track. There's supposed to be some more starting off our heat race based on the forecast.
I think Paul is just really just trying to come to grips with the LMP3 in these conditions. Kerry Nolan's on a bit of a flyer. Second sector's purple. I'll try and see if he can post a time that's faster than Corey Lobner. See as he comes across the line. And I think he improves his time, but not his position. Ooh, Tommy Kogan back to the top. Tanner Schiffner in second with Tyler Torville in third, one of the Lamborghinis. So Lamborghini is doing really good this season in GT3.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the what looks to be some pretty solid wet weather driving machinery there. Tanner Schiffner splitting the difference in that Mercedes as well. Corey Lobner right behind them in fourth.
Yep.
And then Benjamin O'Shea getting a kind of intermix between the GT3 drivers.
Yeah, Nick Bowen going fastest with a 57.173. And we got less than 2 minutes in qualifying. Curious how many people actually still have laps to run. Paul Miles, he's coming to grips with it. Personal best. Is he going to leapfrog Jake Fulton? He does. It's going to move up into 8th.
Ooh, nice.
And newcomer, where is Frank? Frank Convertino in the 002, currently sitting 6th overall with a 58.685 last lap. I just love how we keep getting newcomers.
Yeah.
This is Frank's first ever league race, and he's posted up third fastest in GT4 AM. Attaboy. Attaboy.
Very well. Very nicely done.
As you do.
A few different, absolutely. A few different drivers diving in at the last minute, squeezing into the tail end of qualifying here and not posting lap times. Be interesting to see where they also join the mix.
Tyler Torville is purple in sectors 2, 3, and 4 to go to the top with a 50.064, 3/10 faster than Kerry Nolan. Man, it is a close qualifying in GT3, GT4 machines. LMP3s are kind of like sprinkling throughout the GT3 category. So we're going to have to see how that formation lap is really going to go. So if we take a peek, it does look like GT3s are going to be in front. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. I would have to imagine, given that they're currently faster.
Yeah. So I wonder. I don't know if Jaden's made the call or what about how it's going to be handled for formation lap. I don't know if the LMP3s are going to let the GT3s through to get them in front, but that's above my pay grade. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the results set up here from qualifying. See if we can take a peek at the tail of the tape. Let's go over to the grid. Oh, showing that with too much information. Let's clear all this out of the way and then pull up the grid. LMP3s. For whatever reason, I don't know why I'm doing the grid that way. It's just overall. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll do GT3 and LMP3s, and then I'll let you handle the GT4s, Finn. You're okay with that?
Yes. That sounds fine by me.
Top of the order, we've got Tyler Torville, Kerry Nolan on the front row of the grid, with Tommy Kogan and Tanner Schiffner in row 2, Luke Patrick is the top LMP3 on row 3 alongside Corey Lobner. Benjamin O'Shea, Christopher Blue on row 4. Taking a look further down, we've got John Newman and Andrew Mathias on row 5 with Garrett Hillman and Brenton McFall on row 6. Gian Cardoso lines up alongside Sean Sullivan in LMP3 AM in 14th spot. 15th, 16th, we've got Logan Branson and Nicole Gamma, newcomer to Track Limits Racing. And then we will cruise on down a little bit more. And Jake Fulton, Paul Miles, line up 17, 18 with Ryan Nolan, rounding out the LMP3s and GT3s. If you would help us with the GT4s, I'm going to go ahead and get set up with the camera following the action.
Certainly will. Nick Bowen's going to lead off the GT4 Pro category. Going to give a little bit of space to these GT3s and LMP3s. Robert Lewis, I believe, technically is going to be right behind him, as well as Owen O'Brien's going to be, I think, second in that category in between those two. After him, then we have Tim Mello, who's going to be alongside Chris Turner for GT4 AM, a fantastic run there. Alex Leonard are going to be alongside Frank Calvertino, who's going to be a fantastic first lead race for him. William Lewis is going to be alongside Jaden Ledbetter a little bit further back, with the likes of Victor Lette going to be the last of the drivers, alongside Ethan Hamlet, with both Tim Rosenfield as well as Scott Fleming not taking to the grid. I think they are still not on track for those drivers.
Good to go. All right, let's get set up. So, Navara in the wet. Definitely looks like it's going to be an interesting start. GT3's leading the field off for the first time this season, with Gian Cardoso being marked as crashed. So, not sure what happened there.
Oh boy. It looks like he got marked as crash, but it looks like he had a few other drivers that were just driving, I think, slowed down a little bit to not crash into each other.
Yeah.
And they've gotten going again.
Excellent. Excellent.
Also keep an eye on, this is a rain race, meaning there is rain on the horizon. This follows the timeline and the kind of current forecast, which shows spotty rain throughout most of this heat race, followed by a little bit of overcast in between this and the feature. And we'll see some spotty rain in the middle of the feature as well. So it'll be interesting to see when this rain hits, how it affects the already super malleable timeline between classes.
Yeah.
We're going to see, I think the LMP3s fully sit behind the GT3s on this race start, even with the pace differential being pretty much kind of in between the two of them.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very interesting. We are taking a full pace lap while we're getting geared up. The technical nature of Navara, especially in these conditions, I think are going to be tough in the best conditions, but with multi-class racing involved, should be pretty interesting. Now we do have 70-minute feature on offer. So we will be doing a 20-minute heat race followed by a 70-minute feature. Finishing order from this race will set us up for that feature race. And pace cars in. I believe Tyler Torville will be holding the field. Here they come out of the final corner. Let's see when he punches it. And there he goes.
There he goes. Pretty fantastic launch out of him to get himself way ahead of where Kerry Nolan has held the second position, just ahead of Tommy Kogan, but he's going to be looking on the inside to make that one stick. And they're going to go in too wide as they get through corners 1 and 2 before the first big hairpin into turn number 3.
Patrick gets off to a good start, and looks like the LMP3s are being very cautious as they're going through. Nick Bowen and the GT4s now coming across the line, Finn.
Yeah, they certainly are. Nick Bowen getting a great launch. Owen O'Brien going to be kind of stuck alongside Robert Lewis as well as Tim Mello. Both those drivers looking to make a pass early on in this one, with the individuals and the rest of that field easily zipping down quite quickly. The opening few corners of this pretty hard to get right. As a little bit of contact there, almost as Ethan Hamlet was trying to find his way up the order already.
Yeah, and Hamlet starting from the back of the field. Let's jump into some of the close action over in GT3s right now. We got Andrew Mathias, who is locked in battle. I believe that is with Gian Cardoso, with Ryan Nolan in the background there.
That it is.
Yeah, GT3s looking a little close. LMP3s, however, they look like they're spreading out pretty fast.
Yeah,
We've already got
the
Sean
LMP3s,
Sullivan
and this is
1.5 seconds back.
Sean Sullivan going to have a bit of a slower run here from the rest of the field. The LMP3s definitely have, I think, the biggest spread of speed for most of these drivers.
Benjamin O'Shea. Oh, we got rain coming down on the track, and there's contact between the LMP3s, but it was pretty slow. So I could suspect we've got maybe some aero damage, but I don't think we're going to see anything along the lines of suspension damage with contact at that slow of a speed. But it does. Is it me, or are the LMP3s catching the GT4s?
The LMP3s will be probably catching the tail end of the GT.
Or GT3s, yeah. Sorry.
We've had a few GT4s also have a bit of an issue here just a moment ago.
Yeah, I'm looking through the data. I do see Alex Leonard off track. Jake Hewitt.
My God.
Oh.
If you get a chance to click on the incident for Jake Hewitt, that would give you a pretty good understanding of what's happening there.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look at it.
You're going to see a huge moment here coming through this second to last corner, penultimate corner. Gets a little bit loose on the inside curbing, loses it on the outside curbing, tirelessly spins it, trying to break early enough, and that's going to clobber Frank Convertino, who has been going to have to do some bit of repair in between here and the feature race. And
his front right's gone. So Frank having a bit of a bad luck moment there. Don't really know, other than Jake Hewitt, like, I don't know what he could have done, because once the car spun, I think he could have, like, even holding the brakes, he just slid. He didn't even slow down. He just skated straight off track. Kerry Nolan marked his crash. Let's go see what happened at the front of the order here. Inside the top three, Kerry Nolan getting ready to go into what looks like the same corner that we just saw.
Yep.
Back end steps out, but he did not skate off at quite the speed that Jake Hewitt did.
Yeah,
so
I wonder if those two tires being on the inside there helped him slow that down at least enough to not have an issue there. Ryan Nolan, I think, also going to join those that have had a bit of a slide at the end of the
same corner. It's the penultimate corner. Yep. Like, you go into the penultimate corner and then the car just gets unsettled and very different.
Can't touch any of that.
Yeah.
Can't touch any of the green runoff there.
Yeah.
In order to try to apply brakes on it, because it'll just lock up the tires and the traction control will just lose its mind.
Yep. Oh. Just looking right now for some good close racing. The field is going to spread out, I think, pretty fast. I don't think there's much we can do about it.
Yes.
This is going to be a survival race. So I would say, if you are watching at home, grab a beverage, grab some snacks, hold on to your hats. It's going to be a bumpy one.
I think it'll certainly be a bumpy ride of many a variety at this point.
Yep. Logan Branson and Paul Miles going at it. Paul Miles trying to find his way around the 43 Black Saturn machine. And Jake Fulton actually in the background right there.
Jake Fulton having a pretty solid run along with them. Three of these drivers, I think, all pretty much battling for P2 and P3. of the podium spots on the GT3 AM. Sorry, P3 on the GT3 AM. Or sorry, LMP3 AM podium. Sean Sullivan and Brett McFall both up the road by a little ways.
All right, so Tyler Torville in the lead of GT3 right now. Tommy Kogan not far behind. Lamborghinis seem to be doing quite well in these conditions. Taking a look through more of the GT3 field, Kerry Nolan trying to work his way back up after the slide in the penultimate corner on the previous lap, and he's in the draft of Andrew Mathias. Let's get up close and personal.
Yeah, we'll get a good idea of how much spray comes off these cars under speed. And you get to see how much the rain is starting to re-impact the track. It got a little bit drier because they didn't have much rain throughout all of the qualifying session. And then it kicked back up here at the beginning of the heat race. So we're going to see where the spray will once again become a bit of a factor for these drivers. You will also see this is where the split from GT3s and LMP3s once again is going to become more apparent for those GT3 drivers. We're going to have a little bit more speed.
Getting a view from inside the cockpit from Kerry Nolan. Talk us through what when you're doing these kinds of races in the wet. What sort of things are you thinking about, Finn?
At least from my experience, when you're talking about the rain race, as well as being a driver kind of sitting in the cockpit here, it's always one you want to keep an eye on, where does your braking markers move to? Because a lot of times the ones that you have in the dry sometimes can get lost really easily in the wet, either due to the puddles, due to the spray. So knowing where they are, where you have to move them to, so that way you make sure you still don't miss your braking marker and then end up in the back end of another car in front of you is such a huge part of just wanting to keep going in the right direction, but also not wanting to kill anybody else in the process. You also have to be cognizant of how much the tire, both the temperature, how it gets its grip will change. Not in the way that it changes, allowing that kind of mentality to sit in the background and run almost as a subconscious thing is also important. Knowing the limit of grip and how that changes. Also, you can see now how much these drivers aren't using any of that runoff. We talked about it a little bit earlier on, but it's such a huge piece, especially for the braking zones. You can easily get the car to lose its mind on where it thinks if there's ABS or not. Kerry Nolan almost has a moment there.
Yep.
Speaking of,
just saved at
markers.
The last minute. I think he managed to keep it from even registering an off track there. But speaking of off tracks, we're going to go take a look back at what happened to Gian here.
Let's take a look, see what happened to him. I think we're talking the same set of
Oh,
corners.
And not only that, he's in the wall.
No, that's and that's after turn 4 and turn number 5 there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Technical nature of Navara, especially in these conditions, is just, I think, brutal. It's just going to be so
quite
tricky.
Brutal.
Oh, we've got more incidents gearing up on board with John Newman in the Cascadia Sim Racing. This is penultimate corner again. Christopher Blue. Not sure if it was just couldn't get stopped fast enough, but I think that's going to be kind of a minimal hit in terms of impacts, but penalty incoming probably, but at the same time, at least doesn't look like he had any suspension damage or anything like that. Jake Hewitt is off again, and I think he's just done.
He just pulls it over. I think he just pulls it over.
I think he's just done. Either the setup that just is not there. Not sure what's going on.
Whoa.
Well, go ahead.
Sorry. Speaking of drivers, Benjamin O'Shea going to be around at
here. We'll get that switched over to it real quick.
Middle. Yeah. Take a look at this. Just catches a little bit too much water. Trying to apply the power down. Catches that paint on the outside. We were talking about a little bit when I was talking about what to keep an eye on for these drivers.
Yep.
And he just puts that one tire too far over. The entire car slides out from under him because that wet paint does not allow for any traction to really be found on those tires.
Corvettes are going at it. The girls are fighting. The I'm joking. Andrew Mathias is giving Christopher Blue a lot of pressure right now, and he's going to try and see if he can hang on.
Yeah, Christopher Blue nursing a little bit of damage from early on, that incident with John Newman.
So into this penultimate corner, everybody is taking this this line much more conservative. Like they are leaving quite a bit of space. I wouldn't say quite a car width, but maybe a half car width on corner exit out of the penultimate corner.
Yeah, you want to make that car. You don't want to make that car too easy to spin. Let's talk about not spinning. Chris Blue really catching that car early, but that's going to make Andrew Mathias have a pretty solid run to keep closing the distance alongside.
Let's go take a jump back right now because I think while it's not like hot right now in terms of on-track action. Ethan Hamlet is closing in on Tim Mello. Last lap for Ethan was a 57.2 compared to the rest of the field that are running 58s. Ethan Hamlet almost a second faster than Nick Bowen right now, who's leading GT4.
Yeah, I'd say you can see from where Ethan Hamlet is, you can see the lead of the GT4 is just up the road. And plenty of driving still to go through. Especially as Owen O'Brien's going to try to pass Nick Bowen for the lead just up ahead of those two drivers.
Yeah. Owen O'Brien
Too wide.
hanging it around the outside and finding a little bit more grip relative to Nick Bowen in the Aston Martin.
A little bit less water on the outside of that corner, which I think is how that ends up. But they're going to just keep drag racing down to this second kind of open hairpin. Such a technical corner. A little bit of a squeeze there from O'Brien. Nick Bowen's finally going to have to cede that position, at least for the time being, which does bring Tim Mello as well as Ethan Hamlet back into this mix. It's now a four-way fight for the lead in the GT4 Pro category, excuse me.
Four-way fight. I think we could probably put Robert Lewis in there. Beltan's not too far off.
I think you probably could.
Yeah, I think's happening is as long as these cars are racing this close together, I feel like, I mean, what is the saying in economics? Anything that can't go on forever will eventually end. So yeah, it will end, and then it's all about like who comes out on top.
That is certainly the case. I think Owen O'Brien going to have a bit of a good run out of the final corner there. Christopher Blue disconnecting. I wonder if there was an issue there.
Oh, Golden Rider Karma Strikes. The 530 is having electrical issues again. That is unfortunate. Have some chat for Christopher.
Yeah, he just disappears off track. So.
Yeah, with Owen O'Brien taking the top spot, he's trying to pull away from Nick Bowen, but Nick Bowen's not letting go. Last lap, Nick Bowen was a 58.35 to Owen O'Brien's 58.46. So it's still pretty close. Although Ethan Hamlet has cleared Tim Mello and is now closing in on Nick. Let's get in the roll bar with the hamburger 46 machine. Oh, he's diving. He's just diving up the inside. Not sure if there was contact there, but they were sure close. They were sure close. There was not enough room for the Holy Spirit. So that said.
And then Ethan Hamlet's almost going to have a moment there. It's going to see a little bit of a slide out of and give a little bit of time back to Nick Bowen.
Yeah. Robert Lewis is just kind of just big chilling in the background, and
Absolutely.
I think both him and Tim Mello are kind of like, yeah, you guys are really fast, but you know what? This track's also really wet, so you know, best of luck to you.
And speaking of really wet, Robert Lewis is going to be a little bit wide on that corner exit.
Yeah, the understeer. That's the thing on the corners where I'm seeing these cars not really experiencing any sliding. It does feel like the oversteer or the understeer is the thing that's really catching them out. Actually, Ethan Hamlin has already pipping Nick Bowen. We're switching back to him real quick because he's taken some different lines through these corners, and he is catching Owen O'Brien. I'd say he's about 0.4 faster right now.
Yeah, at least in last lap time. We'll see how much that continues. I'd have to imagine it's one that has some consistency there, which is why we see him up towards the pointy end. We'll see how defensive Owen O'Brien is. Not a whole lot more rain. We're in a kind of a dry pocket amongst the overarching cell of rain that's above us in Sim. So we'll see some more rain begin to hit the track here in just a moment's time, but the actual rain is clear directly overhead.
We're going to take a brief peek at GT3 because there's two battles that are relatively close. Andrew Mathias is trying to hold off Kerry Nolan. And Tommy Cogan's within 0.4 within a half second, was within a half second of Tyler Torville. So that gap's opening up just a little bit now.
Yeah, the lap time's pretty equal between these two drivers, meaning that they have had the laps kind of go both towards and away from each other. They're getting a little bit into lap traffic of the slower end of GT4 AM as well as GT4 Pro. So that's also been part of the reason they end up getting closer together. You see that there with those two drivers as well. Same conversation there as they're trying to get around to William Lewis, who is trying to keep a decent run going.
Ethan Hamlin sets a 56.8. 56s are possible right now. 56.5 for Robert Lewis right now, fastest GT4 on track. So yeah, there is a little bit of drying that's hitting this track at a moment when I think a lot of the drivers are kind of like looking for a little bit of a reprieve from the slip sliding nature of a wet Navara. We are within the last 2 minutes, so we are very close to the end with Tyler Torville in the lead of GT3. Garrett Hillman currently the top spot in LMP3. He's got a 8/10 advantage on, or an 8/10 gap. It's coming down though. Last lap from Luke Patrick. Yeah, this is white flag. Last lap from Luke Patrick was a 51.7. I know traffic's starting to get involved, but that's still a sizable difference.
Yeah, it certainly is. Garrett Hillman going to have to be a little defensive on this last lap. Luke Patrick going to be trying to find his own way through. And both Benjamin O'Shea as well as Brendan McFall are going to swap positions amongst all that. Good set of battles can be coming to a head here. Kerry Nolan alongside Andrew Mathias as well, trying to get the move done. So they get a little ways under. So
they are flip-flopping.
Collection of battles. Yeah.
They are flip-flopping. Looked like Kerry Nolan did get around Andrew Mathias. Andrew Mathias trying to battle back by taking the outside line. Maybe a switchback.
Looks for the over-under.
Yep. Oh, he's on the inside.
Yeah.
Now they're getting set up for this left-hand hairpin, and Kerry Nolan. Like he's hanging on.
Yeah, for the moment, Kerry Nolan's going to hang on, but he's got to have the inside line. Both these drivers basically within 2/10. Kerry Nolan going to switch over to grab the inside line once again. Andrew Mathias forced to the outside, but he's going to have a better over-under finish of that section. These two, I think, are going to come down to the end as these two almost came down to the end.
Tyler Torville, Tommy Cogan, Corey Lobner coming across the line in third with Tanner Schiffner in fourth. The battle with Kerry Nolan and Andrew Mathias continues. We head down the start-finish straightaway. Jaden Ledbetter will come across the line. We'll check in with him in a minute, but Kerry Nolan is going to hang on to it. John Newman's going to finish in seventh. Garrett Hillman looks like he's able to hold off a hard-charging Luke Patrick, although it looks like there might have been
Luke,
something that
he
happened.
had a self spin. He had a self spin earlier on.
Yep.
So Benjamin O'Shea and Brenton McFall are going to get around him as he kept that car out of the wall.
Brenton McFall, top spot in LMP3 AM with some space between him and Sean Sullivan. Sean Sullivan's going to finish 13th overall. Back in GT4, we got the pros. We've got folks in GT4 AM that are still racing. Looks like Chris Turner may come across the line with the top spot in GT4 AM, finishing 6th overall. But Owen O'Brien right now trying to close this one out and hold off Ethan Hamlet.
It has been a close battle for these two throughout the back half of this lap, and Owen O'Brien doing his darndest, using as much of that track as he dares in these final couple corners. We've seen a couple of slides out of him in the final sections, but he's been able to get good exits every time to stay ahead of Ethan Hamlet.
Yep.
I think that'll see him across the line in the heat race, just ahead of Ethan Hamlet and the rest of this GT4 Pro field.
Yeah, Ethan Hamlet going to come across in second with Tim Mello in third. Good result for those three. Chris Turner looks like he's getting to go through the final corner here. Going to exit out, hit that start finish straight away, and take the top spot in GT4 AM with Alex Leonard in second and Victor Liche in third. So that's going to be your finishing order. Let's get those results pulled up.
Absolutely.
Let's go take a peek. Clear this out and get the results. Let's get the heat race LMP3s. There we go. So Garrett Hillman, top spot with Benjamin O'Shea in second. Luke Patrick is going to be the fourth LMP3 Pro with Cole Gamma in fifth. Actually, I've got them split by class, so let's do it that way because it's a lot easier. But Garrett Hillman, Benjamin O'Shea, Luke Patrick, Cole Gamma, only 4 in LMP3 Pro this week.
Yep.
That's a finishing order.
Got a few more.
Yep.
LMP3 AM.
Yep.
I believe the likes of Brenton McFall are going to be leading them off. Sean Sullivan going to be able to keep a solid finish there, just ahead of Paul Miles, who comes home third. Jake Fulton, as well as Logan Branson, going to round out those 5 drivers in the AM category of LMP3.
Yeah. GT3s, we got Tyler Torville with the top spot. GT3, in my opinion, very, very close battling throughout the entire heat race. So I'm very interested to see what happens when we get to 70 minutes of this. I'm also interested to see what happens to the track conditions when we move forward in time. I don't know how far we're moving forward after the warm-up, but yeah, going to be very interesting to see how the conditions shift in the feature race. Tyler Torville, Tommy Kogan, Corey Lobner, your top 3 with Tanner Schiffner in 4th and 5th. Andrew Mathias hangs on to 6th place, finishing in front of John Newman, Gian Cardoso, Ryan Nolan, and Christopher Blue, who had the disconnect. GT4 Pro, Finn.
GT4 Pro, a fantastic battle. I think another one I want to keep an eye on as we get into this feature race is how these all separate out. Owen O'Brien going to manage to hold on to that lead there just ahead of Ethan Hamlet, with Tim Mello rounding out the podium. Nick Bowen and Robert Lewis, the end of the top 5. Jaden Ledbetter, kind of the separation marker there as he leads off the rest of this back. Jake Hewitt, after having some issues earlier on, is going to finish a few laps down. I don't think he's going to see himself into the feature race either. Both Tim Rosenfield as well as Scott Fleming both did not start the sprint or the heat race either. So it'll be interesting to see where all those drivers finish at the end of 70 minutes time. A close battle for these ones. I'm excited to see where they go.
And of course, GT4 AM, Chris Turner with that top spot. Alex. Oh, excuse me. Skip. No, I got it. Right? Yeah. Yeah. We're good. We're good. We're good. I thought I clicked the wrong one. I had them combined for a second. Chris Turner, top spot with Alex Leonard in second, Victor Liche in third, and William Lewis with Frank Cupertino finishing the race out 2 laps down. So getting back out on track after that collision and losing his right front. So good on Frank for sticking it out. Hope he has a good first feature race and can farm some points. We will be gridding up. Let's get that set up.
Used 4 times the corner exit to next corner. Oh wow! Hearing from Jaden in the chat about the speed for the McLaren GT4 in the rain, that definitely feels like something is not being calculated properly if it's that much of a speed difference.
Yeah. As you can see, the conditions here, pretty foggy. 19 degrees ambient temperature with 98% humidity as we have cloudy skies and a 47-kilometer wind. That's okay.
That is a speedy.
That is a fast wind. Are we in hurricane
Yeah,
conditions?
that's 30 miles an hour for
Okay.
those
All
keeping
right.
track at home.
All right. That seems.
And the wind,
Yeah,
is gonna, I think, stick around 30 miles. It's starting to drop down, but for your reference, the entire time it's going to be about 30.
that is crazy. That is some nutty wind you've programmed for us here, Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping back, we're going to get a little bit closer to the cars on track because the foggy conditions not really showing us a lot from the blimp cam. Ryan Nolan going ahead and jumping to the pits. I think the conditions are catching people out, and they don't really know what to do.
That or I think maybe Ryan Nolan did not fuel properly is the other way I see that.
Oh, yeah, that could be it too. That could be it too. We got the formation lap underway. Thank you all for joining us for round number 4. We got 22 people in here hanging out with us.
Oh, wow.
At Navara. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all.
Looking forward to some more racing action, Finn. Don't know about you.
Yes.
Taking a look at the
very much so.
schedule while we're finishing out this lap to start the race off. Let's see here. We've got, looks like a week's time. We've got Le Mans. And then
Yes.
we'll have Algarve or is that Portimao? That's Portimao,
Yep,
right?
that is Portimao.
Yeah, Portimao on September 5th with Barcelona
Mhm.
on September 12th, and then series finale with Fuji on October 3rd.
Yeah, so we have some bit of a break here after next week, couple week off, couple more races, and then a few weeks off before the finale.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great back half of the season, I think, with all the racing that we've gotten so far and all that we have still yet to come. I think these battles are just gonna keep going to the end, and be fantastic to see where these drivers end up at the end of the season when it comes to the championship standings.
Yeah. So if you are interested at all, yes, it is a funny looking track.
Yes.
I would recommend, if you're interested at all in being a part of the action, join the Discord server, join the site, be a part of the action, hang out with the guys. It's a fun community, and like Finn was saying, if you want to be a part of the back half of the season, check to see if registrations are open and be a part of the action. We have so next week we got Le Mans, and that is going to be a 90-minute feature at probably the one remaining power circuit.
Yes.
In the season, because most of the season's been technical tracks. We've only had a few power circuits. This is going to be the last shot next week.
Yeah, the other big power circuit for the season, and it's going to be the one I think we have the longest laps here. It's going to be one of the ones I think we see the most time between multi-class action at Le Mans.
Yeah.
and I think it'll make for a pretty fun but a pretty long race for those drivers.
We're going green. Tyler Torville punches it to warp speed and pulls out in front of the field. Looks like Tommy Cogan's got a hard charging Corey Lobner on the inside line as they get ready to go into turn 2. We're going to take a look back at the LMP3s that are underway. Garrett Hillman gets a jump. He's going to have to hold off Luke Patrick and Benjamin O'Shea, who are getting lined up for turn number 1, and that is like super sketch in the LMP3s going into turn 2. Definitely looks
Both Garrett
like
Hillman and Luke Patrick gonna go wide. Benjamin O'Shea gonna go wide on the exit though, and that's gonna make for some fun racing for all those drivers.
Yeah. They got swirly. Garrett Hillman is struggle.
Yeah, a little bit of a struggle there.
Yep, jumping back to the GT4s now as everybody's trying to deal with these track conditions, and it feels like people are really struggling with the cars.
Well, when the wind is 30 miles an hour on top of a wet track, it definitely does not make for the easiest interaction, as we see a lot of cars going too wide in this GT4 category as they get into turn number 5, 6, and 7.
So let's go take a look back. Christopher Blue had a bit of a moment on the opening lap. He had a lot of a moment, actually. Let's see if we can go back further than that and see what happened. Getting ready to go. Was that netcode?
Oh, my.
Was that netcode? Like, those cars were close, but they didn't look like they were touching.
They did not look like they were touching. I'm trying to figure out what happened there. Let me see if I can dial it in any further.
That's crazy. So that threw Christopher Blue behind the LMP3s. So he's going to have to limp his way back to the pits with no rear wing.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it could have been a little bit of netcode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it was netcode because they should not have had overlap, but the game said they did.
Yeah.
And then it kept going, and now I think his bad day has gone from bad to worse as he's trying to get that car driven around background. I don't know that he knows that he's missing a rear wing.
Penultimate corner.
Yeah.
There goes Kerry Nolan, and he catches Andrew Mathias. Although I think that spin was kind of slow, and then they can't get enough of each other, so they just keep on touching.
They had the first interaction, and Andrew Mathias was like, "Well, in for a penny, in for a pound, I suppose."
And he's going to try and battle back against Gian Cardoso as they get ready to go into turn 1. Victor Licha in GT4 AM getting ready to go into, you guessed it, penultimate corner in the Porsche. And just like that, he just clown cars right off the track.
But my God.
Manages
threads the needle.
Yep. I mean, it's the Brazilian like missile tracking system just found a way to thread the needle. But yeah. Victor showing us how like an action movie star handles a stunt like that, and he just gets back up to speed, scoots past the person, and then goes right into turn 1 like nothing happened. Just like, yep, keep right on it.
Yep, the pace differential for the McLaren GT4 is very much showing at this point.
Yeah,
you can see where those three are just further back. If there's a track map, you can see them very clearly. There's a pocket of GT4s, thank you, that are just right behind the rest of the GT4 category. So I think it's going to be
Sector 3 getting busy. Sector 3's got there's limited capacity in Sector 3 for cars right now. Tyler Torville setting the fastest lap with a 52.12, and LMP3s are still struggling for pace. I'm seeing, here we go. I see a 52.9 for Luke Patrick showing up. So 52s, 53s, 54s for LMP3s. Christopher Blue's in the pits getting those repairs taken care of. And he's back out of the box already. Or he's just got to the penultimate box.
Yes. Penultimate corner, once again, claiming another victim. I say victim loosely.
Yeah.
As Robert Lewis has to rejoin the tail end of the GT4 category.
Yep, let's see what happened here.
Excuse me.
Getting ready to go into the corner as Finn was describing.
You guessed it.
It just shoves you out. Like once you start to understeer,
Oh.
it shoves you out. Oh, and he got
Oh.
deflected the wall.
That looked
Front
like a-
end's a little bit messed up.
Yeah.
Ian
And a
Cardoso.
rough looking front air.
Ian
Oh, no.
Cardoso, not in the penultimate corner, just having a bit of a
Yeah, it
moment
is.
here. Oh, he touches
Oh.
Andrew Mathias, and then his car just decides to
Oh. Slide out from under him.
just rear end just comes right out from behind him. And
Twitch chat has let us know that Victor cannot confirm if he has his lucky rabbit.
yep. Our Brazilian legal counsel, Victor Liche, he's like, "Have you been hit by a car? Was it me? If so, you can't sue." Brenton McFall had a really good start in the heat race. Has not converted for him in the feature though. Although I'm not live, I just realized, so I'm going to switch back to that real quick, and then we're going to go find him because I know how to work the controls. I'm a smart guy. He thought for sure he would have hit someone, but it turns out he doesn't have a violent bone in his body, so he didn't. And Paul Miles is
gonna
taking,
run wide.
Yeah, he's taking the Joker lap. So pretty chaotic start, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, pretty chaotic start. A lot of these drivers, a little bit over the side of all that. A good portion of them as well going to be hitting the not the difficulty, but like the reminders that they should be getting that the paint is still very wet and therefore very dangerous.
Yep. And the wind, it's a blowing. Tim Mello on top right now of GT4 Pro in front of Owen O'Brien, Nick Bowen, and Ethan Hamlet, Chris Turner, Alex Leonard, and Frank Convertino, top 3 in GT4 AM. We're going to go take a look and see what happened to William Lewis a few moments ago.
I think he
Well,
had
we're
a bit
not,
of a wide line
because the replay has just decided that this is what you get to see. Yep.
I think that was because I think he had a moment of disconnect.
Yeah, and then his car no longer found, like MIA. Some say it's aliens, others say it's just wet Navara or the internet. You take your pick. Pick your poison.
Owen O'Brien did have a bit of a wide turn number 2, or excuse me, 3, the first hairpin here at Navara, which is how we end up seeing Tim Mello jump ahead of him. But Jim Mello making sure that, O'Brien making sure that Tim Mello can't get too far ahead without someone reminding him that he's there.
And we've only got 8 minutes elapsed right now. We've already had so much. Oh, look at Owen O'Brien.
Well, O'Brien's making the look, tucks back in.
Yep.
Now making the look more seriously.
He goes deep.
Over under out of Tim Mello until he has to brake to make sure he doesn't run into O'Brien. O'Brien's going to end up sticking that pass as a result. Tim Mello almost getting a little bit loose as the result of going on the curbing.
Sean Sullivan and Brenton McFall. So Brenton McFall moving back up the order now, almost the front end of LMP3 AM. But he's got Sean Sullivan in the number 6 machine to clear.
Sean Sullivan so confident under the throttle by comparison to Brenton McFall. I wonder if that car just feels a little bit different than it did for the sprint for Brenton McFall, which is what's costing him that time under throttle.
Yeah, I think the conditions have shifted enough where I'm starting to see
Mhm.
some of the various contenders struggling with different aspects of the track.
Mhm.
Trying to look through the field to see if we've got any other good close
Oh,
action
that's a
right now.
wide Sean Sullivan,
That is a
though.
wide Sean Sullivan and Garrett, or excuse me,
And
Brenton
Brenton
McFall.
McFall almost going to spin out trying to avoid him.
Yep. It's like, what do you want to have? Do you want to have understeer, oversteer? Take your pick. In either case, the traction control will not save you.
Mm-hmm.
Traction control is just going to make a whole bunch of racket and do a whole lot of nothing. Ryan Nolan marked
Yep.
his crash. Let's see what happened. Penultimate corner again. Pretty Derby Lambo goes wee into the corner.
Well, almost takes out a couple of the GT4s. And then he starts working his way back around to get going the right direction.
Throws in a J
And
turn
finally
to, definitely showing out for the ladies. And then back out on track. Again, we're back in this race. Sean Sullivan staying out in front of Brenton McFall. Taking a look, Jay Hewitt. We got Jay Hewitt, Jaden Ledbetter going at it. Let's. We haven't been on board with the Black Flag Ledbetter in a minute, so let's see what it looks like inside the very cramped yet supposedly luxurious conditions of the McLaren.
Yeah, the McLaren GT4, by far, I think one of the most roomy, but also looks cramped from the roll bar.
Yep.
Also, definitely one that we've seen a bit of a different experience on for these drivers. The McLaren's kind of in the race of their own. So
You can see in these conditions just how difficult it is, and does look like there's a bit of a moment. Jaden Ledbetter is going to take the spot, but immediately Jay Hewitt already a jockeying for position. But there's so much movement on track laterally, people going online, offline, that I think it's just catching people out. Like they don't really grasp how the grip difference is going to hit them when they move offline. So let's have a conversation about overall pace right now. Owen O'Brien set a 55.7. That's a second faster than Ethan Hamlin right now. Now,
yeah.
Ethan Hamlin did have to clear Tim Mello, but that's still quick for GT4.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Owen trying to take advantage of the pace that he can kind of squeak out in these conditions, and he's just trying to drive off into the distance. Another thing about pace, Tyler Torville just set a 49.2 in Lamborghini.
Yeah, which is still a second faster than Luke Patrick, our fastest LMP3. So it's definitely, Tyler Torville on a pretty much a race of his own, almost same way we saw with Owen O'Brien at this point. 7 seconds ahead of the three-way fight for the bottom two steps of the podium in GT3 with Tommy Kogan, Corey Lobner, and Tanner Schiffner, all within a pretty close battle.
And these two
for those
again. Kerry Nolan, Andrew Mathias, name of a better duo. Duking it out as they get ready to go into Sector 3. You can see the back end step out on Andrew Mathias, but that rotation seemed to have helped him a little bit because it did look like Kerry Nolan was starting to understeer into the corner just a bit.
Just a little bit. It kept him in the right direction. Corey Nolan has a bit of damage that he's working through.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of damage. Looks like to the right front. Maybe the right front crunched in a little bit, from what I can tell.
Oh boy, I'm looking at a battle for third in LMP3 Pro as well. I think just got a little bit more resolved, but Cole Gamma as well as Garrett Hillman.
Yep, they're duking it out. Yep, that battle is starting to pick up.
Yeah, I just saw them swap hands on who was in front, who was behind. Or I'm curious to see when we see Cole Gamma continue the pace, especially given that Sean Sullivan's not far behind those two. While Sean Sullivan's leading off the GT or LMP3 AM category. Interesting to see how these two fare. Ooh, especially with the wide line there for Cole Gamma. That's going to make it for Garrett Hillman having a clean exit. Good run here. Going to bring him to less than a second. They go too wide. See who yields first into the braking zone of turn number one. It's going to be Garrett Hillman who wants to lean on that. We'll see where these drivers. Oh, man. Big moment for Garrett Hillman. Not far off either for Cole Gamma as they both go a little bit sideways.
Yep. Traction is at an all-time premium here. 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes into the feature race. We're not quite to pit stops yet, but with the amount of action we're seeing on tracks, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some people go in. Maybe to try and offset stint times. I don't know.
Be interesting to see what the plan is, especially given some of those issues, much like the one I think we're looking at here.
Yep. Trying to get SDK Gaming to pull it up. There we go. SDK Gaming is just like, nah.
I don't want to. You can't make me.
Oh,
it's gonna be turn number 2, 3.
Yep. Pushed wide, a little bit of understeer, and then out on the slick stuff, and then just had to nurse it through the corner. And it still looks like the back end just doesn't want to comply with Logan Branson.
I think he was braking on the paint, which is what will always catch you out. At least one of those tires was on enough of the paint to where it locked up so quickly, like we see there for Garrett Hillman.
Yep.
You know,
so tricky.
Such a hard, especially given the LMP3s have no ABS, so no way to save it if it locks up on you. Traction control is great for under power, but it's going to make for a wide line for Garrett Hillman as well. And the likes, I believe, of Brenton McFall there, we saw just on the inside where he had an issue, almost took out the inside tire barrier of that runoff, but narrowly managed to avoid it and any of the other drivers.
Oh, we got some more going on here. Brenton McFall.
This is the moment I just was speaking about.
Yeah. Again, it's that same sort of thing where you lose traction. He's bringing a bunch of rocks on track at the same time. He manages to survive that, so very fortunate. Gian Cardoso going into turn 1, and the car already looks sketchy, and then he understeers, and the car just keeps like having issues, and he's trying to get going straight again, but he's got LMP3s all around.
Yeah, and he's trying to avoid running into Benjamin O'Shea, who is further down the road. Logan Branson back into turn number 1 again. Same issue.
Yep. You know what I think that is? So I know it's slick right there. I wonder if that's an area where the wind is playing a factor.
I'm super curious. That, and then also trying to overcorrect for the last time by, as I think we have rain actually in the forecast and on track at the moment. It's currently just spitting. Just a little bit of rain will be hitting the track here. I'll just keep it just a nice, that level of wetness I think will stick around for a little bit.
So let's take a peek. Andrew Mathias and Kerry Nolan are still beating each other up. Here,
John Newman's joined the fight.
Yeah, John Newman has entered the chat, and he actually Dukes of Hazards his way around that corner and gets the car going straight again. He is on a wet line, as you can tell. Look at the spray coming off his car.
Oh my
Harry
gosh.
Nolan might have just touched. Harry Nolan is
Not enough.
is big wide in that corner.
Oh, John Newman.
John Newman. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, does get it sorted, but
Yep.
I think the McLarens in general are not happy with this track or the
it
rain.
definitely feels like there's some banana peels out there. Jaden and like these two, like they find their way through it, ladies and gentlemen. They did it.
Mhm.
We did it. Alex Leonard. We have not watched a lot of Alex tonight in the 696 machine, as he is trying
Quiet
to
place
catch
for him.
Chris Turner in that clown car full of baboons Mustang.
Ryan Nolan and GT3 trying to split the difference between the two of them, try to get around for his own race. Started from the pit lane.
Oh,
Has
that
had
was
a
a break
couple of
mid-corner.
moments.
It looked like Alex Leonard might have had a little bit of a pucker moment, because I saw the brakes mid-corner and I'm like, uh-oh, that must mean something's happening.
No. He's kept it going the right direction. Now we have lap traffic of Tommy Kogan also joining these drivers, and Corey Lobner right behind them, who's trying to keep up with Tommy Kogan for the second and third positions on the podium.
Yeah. It's just like we had, in the braking zone. Oh my goodness, what's about to happen?
Okay.
Yep, we all did it.
Everyone survived.
Although Corey
There's
Lobner is
another
like,
incident happening elsewhere on track. Actually, really a pair of synchronized swimming incidents, but
yeah.
I think the McLarens across the board are not happy right now, and I don't know why.
Does look like Corey Lobner taking advantage of the situation. Moving through GT4 traffic quickly, although has a bit of an understeer moment in the final corner. Gian Cardoso trying to work his way through the LMP3s. So looking through the data now, we've got the field spreading out a little bit. Although we got to talk about Ethan, because he is catching Owen at a pretty decent clip. A 55.6 last lap for Ethan with a 57.03. Go ahead.
Multi-class traffic as well of Christopher Blue did not help the gap that he had managed to build up. And now the pace seems to be almost more in Hamlet's favor, as Brian is starting to lose a little bit of time. Not much, though. Only a few tenths. I'm super curious to see if that'll change a little bit more as they keep going as well.
I missed it. We did have some folks hit us with follows. I believe that is that.
Ooh.
Any KCO, thank you so much for the follow.
Mm-hmm.
My glasses need updating, so I don't know if I can read that correctly, but I think that was me. Oh, but thank you so much. 25 people tuned in to watch the action here at round 4 at Navara. 23 minutes, 40 seconds have elapsed. We have not hit that pit window yet, so I'm really interested to see what it looks like when we get to the first round of pit stops.
Yes, it'll be quite good. What action?
Does look like Ethan is really kind of just keeping Owen honest at this point. 55.85 last lap for Owen, so definitely more in line with what we're used to seeing pace-wise. Closest stuff we've got on track really has to do with multi-class traffic.
Yeah, it's a huge factor for most of these drivers. Tommy Kogan, Corey Lobner are still in a battle as well. Dealing this, they work their way through multi-class traffic.
Yep.
Oh, Cole Gamma joining those, caught out by the penultimate corner.
All right, let's go take a look at that. See what happened. Getting ready to go.
Tries to.
Go ahead.
You'll see it here in the in the corner there. Loses the traction there, tries to catch it, and then re-loses it, trying to make sure he doesn't go sliding off the far side. That'll give the position back to Garrett Hillman, and then he'll work his way back. He's going to reverse it out of the harm's way, get it going again in the process of that, allowing both a handful of drivers in the LMP3 category as well as Gian Cardoso to find their way through as well.
It's interesting too. It seems like when people rejoin after that penultimate corner, it seems like their car, the tires just don't have good traction. So I've seen lots of people moved over to the inside of the track, and the cars are just kind of like wobbling for a brief moment. I guess it's because either the gravel or whatever, they just haven't kicked all the gravel off yet.
Well, I think it breaks the traction, and that's Logan Branson there.
Oh, and unfortunately,
it's a pretty unfortunate run.
He managed to hit both ends of the LMP3 because he has no rear wing.
Yep. I hope he's aware of that as he goes.
All right, checking back in with GT4 Pro as Owen O'Brien still trying to hold on to the lead. 2/10, less than 2/10, I think, between Ethan Hamlet and Owen O'Brien. Owen O'Brien bringing some pretty strong competition for Ethan in GT4, I think.
Absolutely, at least by the way it looks so far.
"26 minutes elapsed. I suspect we're going to be seeing pit stops around the 28 to 32-minute mark for those GT3s.
I think so. Yeah, I think so, especially given how much I think we see them not on full throttle. They definitely are probably a little more conservative on their fuel numbers than we usually see in dry weather racing. Logan Branson going to get that wing repaired.
John Sullivan seems to have met some sort of calamity, getting ready to go into turn 2. Back end just steps out. And traction control is just like, and then, yep.
Yeah, the traction control that we always talk about continues to be a dishwasher.
Yep. Like, if you need something that will, I don't know, help your mixer work, traction control system from an LMP3 might be the correct thing for it. But I don't really buy that.
Yes.
I don't really buy that it's useful for traction control purposes. But
you just need to hook up the LMP3's TC output and input into a blender, and it'll work perfectly.
I wonder if we could get sued from YouTube if we try to refer to moments with the LMP3 as will it blend moments.
I think we'll get sued by Ligier, not by YouTube.
Yeah. Will it blend?
Will it blend?
Yep.
I think if the marketing team at Ligier ever find out that we reference their car's traction control system, which I need to go play more LMU to see what the new version looks like, or if it still feels like a dishwasher.
Yep.
So I'm super curious if the updates to the P3 platform make it feel any more drivable in sim.
Yeah, I think
I'll have to go quantify that.
I think it'd be pretty interesting. You'll never guess. Andrew Mathias. Kerry Nolan.
Oh man.
Two friends. These two. The best of friends. I I was gonna say if Ligier is gonna be that upset about it, they should definitely, I think, file a complaint, send
Mhm.
all email to Jaden Ledbetter at tracklimitsracing.app.
Uh-huh.
Kerry Nolan's gonna pull the trigger first. Gonna try and get this done. Let's see. How many people do you think are gonna blow the cones at the entry to the pit lane?
At least one.
Is that rain? That's rain coming down.
It likely is,
Oh,
yes.
yep. Here we go.
We're now in we're in the one green section of an otherwise blue cell of rain.
Oops. Oops.
Oh, man.
Oops.
Oh, no.
And we're all in. Are we in the pits? Are we not in the pits? That, don't know what happened there. That was a bit of a moment.
Yeah, he's trying to get into pit lane, and then what the heck?
Not really sure what happened there, but
I think Robert Lewis and Alex Leonard were unclear on who was going into pit or why they were going into pit.
Yep.
And neither lifted.
So Jaden Ledbetter also in the pits right now. Taking a look at the Kerry Nolan comes back out on track after the pit stop. He's just no longer in it with Andrew Mathias. Tyler Torville actually going in the pits. We're going to see how that works out for him.
Mm-hmm.
GT4s cycling through as well. Looks like, so we were talking about how Jaden Ledbetter went in early. Tyler Torville going in. Tim Mello.
Owen O'Brien, I think, also joining them.
Yep. Like, now, guys, all three of you cannot go into this corner at the same time.
Oh, gosh.
And yep. And there we go.
There is the...
I believe that was William Lewis.
Yeah, that was William Lewis.
Unfortunate. Like, I mean, he
lost out.
Yep. He was just in. Oh, we got Owen O'Brien, Tim Mello in the pits. Logan Branson back in the pits as well. Or not Tim Mello. We got Owen O'Brien. He's coming in early. Andrew Mathias is in. Where is Andrew Mathias going to cycle out relative to Kerry Nolan? We're about to find out. Kerry Nolan's exiting.
Yes.
What looks like the final corner right now.
Yep.
Kerry Nolan, 18.5
Andrew
seconds in the box.
Along with Owen O'Brien, going to be battling it off the line.
Yep. Sounds about right.
All right. Take a look at the
Kerry Nolan
pit lane.
Yeah, go ahead.
Travel times are a second longer for Andrew Mathias, which is why they end up 3 seconds apart.
So, Kerry Nolan is marked with a yellow flag.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a slowdown penalty for cutting a corner or going too wide and having to recorrect that by just slowing down a little bit.
Interesting. So Paul Miles currently finds himself in third of LMP3 AM. Actually, he's had a pretty no drama race, which has been very good for Milo the First. He's trying to chase down Sean Sullivan right now. Is holding on to third in LMP3 AM. They're trying to catch back up to Brenton McFall, who is about 3.5 seconds up the road. Corey Lobner and Tanner Schiffner are in. Corey Lobner hits the box, goes up on Jax, I believe. So I think maybe... No, he's not on Jax. It's just the Mustang's tall boy. And we'll see who wins the drag race off the line. That was a long stop for both of them.
Oh,
21 and a half and 22 and a half. And Corey Lobner, I think, is going to get out in front of...
Yes.
Interesting. Luke Patrick in third has yet to pit. Tyler Torville cycles out behind Tommy Kogan, but Tommy Kogan has yet to pit. John Newman's in the pits. Paul Miles in the pits. Looks like Cole Gamma's in the pits. Victor Leacha's in the
Victor.
pits.
Yeah, good portion of the field diving in and out of pit lane at this point. You're going to see Corey Lobner, I think, have a moment trying to get around Benjamin O'Shea as he's still 2 seconds a lap faster.
John Newman cycling out. Let's take a look. Paul Miles does sneak out in front of Cole Gamma after being in the box for 20.23 seconds. Tommy Kogan is in the pits right now. Tyler Torville is in Sector 3 as we speak. So we're going to see what Tyler Torville's got in terms of outlap pace. Anything you're seeing in the pit stop time so far?
Nothing huge. Benjamin O'Shea going to be listed as crash. That's going to be an interesting one because I think who was just in a little bit of driving with Corey Lobner. I'm curious if there was an incident there. Nope. Looks like it was a self-spin. Pit times look to be pretty quick for the most part, minus, I think, a slow Ryan Nolan, who I think is just getting back on the track again after working his way through. The important piece I'm curious to see is how these will change towards the second half of the race, or if there even is a second stop for most of these drivers. We are just past the halfway point, I believe, for these drivers. So I think they'll be able to make it this on the one stop at this point if they are able to do so.
That or fuel save will be much easier to pull off.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm curious to see if Benjamin O'Shea dives in the pit lane. He had a spin, pretty gnarly one, which I think has dropped him down the order overall. I think we'll see him
let's go
probably
back and take a look at that, I think.
It's, I think, just a little too much trying to take the dry line, which has, again, as soon as you get on the, this is coming out of that second hairpin in the middle of this thing and then just trying to catch it. It had a little too much rotation. Sees him spin out in the other direction. Keeps out of the wall, though, so I think he'll be okay outside of a little bit of hurt pride and trying not to kill GT3s around him. And then I think it'll put him closer into the battle with Garrett Hillman and Brenton McFall for the time being until he can kind of catch up to Luke Patrick, if he can.
So let's talk about GT4s, right? Ethan Hamlet, Nick Bowen both have yet to stop.
Yes.
Actually, let's jump back to live. Actually, Ethan Hamlet just now going into the pits. Nick Bowen looks like he's going to stay out another lap.
He's going to be coming in, I think, right now. We'll see him as well as a few others that haven't come in yet, such as, I think we saw Luke Patrick just ahead of those drivers also dive in.
Owen O'Brien, Logan Branson having a bit of a moment there.
Yep, that's going to be enough to give Logan Branson a black flag for the incident limit.
Unfortunate. He's trying to get...
Pretty much the rest that LMP3 field are going to dive in this time by that haven't come in already. Benjamin O'Shea, Luke Patrick, Garrett Hillman, Brenton McFall from the AM category, as well as Hamlet, Nick Bowen.
Ethan Hamlet is off the jacks and moving down pit lane. Looks like he's going to cycle out in front of Owen O'Brien.
Yes, but not by much because he's coming in hot behind him. And the speed difference is going to mean that gap is going to come down to something close to a second or so. Slower in the pit box, faster in overall pit lane time, or equal in overall pit lane time. Pretty close.
Interesting. So maybe Owen just had a little bit of a moment there in
I think a slower outlap for him. Multiclass traffic, I don't think really did him many favors on that outlap.
Yeah. So let's talk GT3s, because GT3s fields spread out, but I still feel like there's a lot to play for because we've got another 30-ish minutes left in this race.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler Torville with a 16-second gap on Tommy Kogan. Corey Lobner 7 seconds back with Tanner Shifter 3 seconds back. And you'll never guess. You will never guess
Mm-hmm.
the closest battle in GT3 right now is between Kerry Nolan and Andrew Mathias. Well, no, not Kerry Nolan and Andrew Mathias. Kerry Nolan's Tanner Schiffner. So Kerry Nolan
Yes.
continuing to draw some attention from the feed, but Tanner Schiffner is going to try and hold him off. Let's see from the rear view what it's like with the GT3s. You can see, for one, you can see the spray. Two, if the camera looks like it's kind of wobbly, that's because the rear end of these cars really aren't nailed down that well in these conditions.
I mean, they're only mildly more nailed down in general.
Yep.
But yeah, about a second between these two drivers. Tanner Schiffner, pretty conservative on the outlaps here. And that's going to see him catch up all the time. Kerry Nolan on a bit of a recovery drive as well after a moment early on.
Talk about LMP3 AM. Brenton McFall's under pressure.
Yeah, he's gotten a pretty solid and a hard charging, I think. Sean Sullivan right behind him.
Now,
Oh,
man, goes wide, and there goes John
well,
Newman.
both of them are going to go wide.
Yep.
Yeah, John Newman was way off outside there.
Everybody is pushing, and it is pretty crazy between these two. Oh, and they touch.
And that's going to see Sean Sullivan going to get spun around as a result. Brendan McFall going to slow down for a moment. I think he's going to try to let him get back around here.
Yeah, but
That's
it
gonna
looks
get
like
multi-class
Paul
traffic.
Miles might have squeaked by. Let's actually take a look at that collision
think
again
so, yeah.
and see what it was like for Paul Miles. Yep, they get into it, and Paul Miles is just like, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yep. He's going to get a pretty solid run here around those drivers. The rain, I think, is mostly gone for the time being as well. We're going to see a little bit more spotty weather until the end of the race.
Yeah.
As there's nothing on the horizon in the final 30 minutes.
All right, let's take a look, see if we can find some other close action on track. I mean, whole gamma, Paul Miles, that's starting to heat up. We can take a look from the inside, from the mail slot, down the start-finish straightaway. Mr. Milo the First on Twitch TV. You can go check him out right now if you're interested. Got a lot of fun characters in the community that like to stream these races if you want to get that point of view feel. Again, anybody that wants to be a part of the action, Season 2, 2026. We got the back half getting ready to kick off in a week's time. There's the website, and feel free to join the conversation on Discord. So last lap from Paul Miles was a 55.6. So Cole Gamma does really have, looks like a little bit of pace in hand. 54.63 last lap. So
it does look like a little bit of pace in hand. It's going to be a question of consistency because some of those laps have been a little bit slower, which is how we got into the second gap to begin with, on top of a little bit of pace differential.
Yep.
In the pit lane times.
you can see him, you can hear him feathering the throttle. Some of these more like low speed corners. Really just trying to hang on. So Kerry Nolan, Tanner Schiffner. This is the new battle to watch. Kerry Nolan, 51.3 last lap to a 51.3. So these two are pretty closely matched in terms of pace. Andrew Mathias about a second a lap slower.
Yeah, at this point, Kerry Nolan's hit the spot that he's needed to make sure he has the fuel to get to the end with the one stop, and now he is raring to go. And he wants to see what he can do to work his way either onto the podium or as close as he can get. Corey Lobner not too far ahead of them, trying to deal with multi-class traffic. The likes of, I believe, Victor that day, who's trying to keep up a pretty fantastic run in the GT4 AM spot right ahead of these drivers right now, but behind them in overall, obviously.
This is the pretty much, other than the battle with Cole Gamma, this is pretty much the closest thing we got going right now on track between these two. And looks like Victor Licha is just going to let him go.
I mean, it's a wise decision.
Yep.
You know, no need to try to make any rash moves in your race in the last 20 minutes just because they're battling themselves separate of all that.
Mr. Milo the First has really found some pace relative to Cole Gamma, and he's taking the inside line in this this left-hand hairpin. Still got the inside line, getting ready to go into the next one, and I think he's going to get the move done. They are sliding through these corners pretty consistently.
Well, yeah, I don't think I saw anybody take tires. And so whenever they get back onto kind of the wet stuff, those tires are probably starting to be at least a little worn. I don't think they're going to be too something you have to really stress too much. Most of these tires, even the wet tires, can go pretty well over an hour without an issue. But the opportunity as they get back from kind of the drier section of track that they're used to onto the wet section of what has not been raced on as much, that dry line that has been forming, as they're going to thread the needle between a couple of GT4 Pro and AM cars. Tim Mello, who Paul Miles almost runs into as he takes his racing line, and William Lewis, who is the lap traffic splitting the difference between Paul Miles and Cole Gamma, which is really going to open up that gap as John Newman wants to try to get through as well. And Christopher Blue going to be battling him for position right behind all this.
Shoots off track. Is he able to get back on?
Yeah, he is. Seems to be doing well without too much issue.
Yeah, I think that was just an instance of being kind of like off the dry line. And that made it pretty dramatic. One thing I did want to talk about, let's go take a peek through some GT4 now, because we saw Tim Mello for a brief moment, but the GT4 AM leader, Chris Turner, in a clown car full of baboons, currently in his own world right now. He's about 18 seconds in front of Frank Convertino in the 002, who's currently running second in his first ever league race.
Yeah, fantastic recovery drive for him. He had that incident in the heat race, dropped him all the way back down to the end of the order, but he has stuck with it. I think it's paying him back some pretty solid dividends with consistency that he's had throughout this race.
Indeed. John Newman, Christopher Blue. Christopher Blue rejoining us after having technical difficulties in the heat race, and they're enjoying themselves a little battle on track.
They certainly are. Chris, he also had that issue earlier on, which saw the feature race, which saw his rear end get pretty well removed from the rest of the car. Got that repaired, got back out on track to recover some points and having a pretty decent time doing so. Cole Gamma trying to stay ahead of these two drivers, but both are running pretty quick lap times comparative to him, and that's really opened that gap for Paul Miles, who is now I think 6 seconds ahead because of only 2 seconds ahead of Cole Gamma.
So Nick Bowen holding looks like a 4.5 second lead on Tim Mello, holding on to that third spot of the podium right now. GT4 largely is really spread out right now, like really spread out, both with the traffic and with the conditions. They've been kind of spread out. I wonder if anybody didn't get their fuel right. We could see some shenanigans at the end of the race, but by and large, that's pretty much the field. We're gonna switch back to John Newman, Christopher Blue, It's really the closest thing. Christopher Blue is licking the stamp and sends
Oh.
it. And
He's gonna have to fight over it though. John Newman
yeah.
has a perfect over under
Yeah.
to maintain the position. He saw that coming from a few zip codes away. And John Newman's gonna repay the favor by going super deep into this corner, which is gonna mean the two of them are gonna go too wide. And I think Chris Blue may finally
And
get
Nick
the pass
Bowen's
done.
just like, please no.
please don't kill me in this process.
And that was perfect timing. Just showed right up for the landing of a plane.
Yes.
It was really dramatic. And with that, we can go shift gear. Oh, never mind.
John Newman.
John Newman
has gone deep twice trying to keep up this fight.
In the final corner, John Newman from way downtown. And I believe that is Alex Leonard.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, he's just going to move out of the way of these GT3s. Just let him go.
Yeah.
Smart move, smart move. Cole Gamma. Wait a minute. Are we in that phase where some of the GT3s are filtering back through?
Yes. Well, it's Chris Blue had the incident earlier, which saw him. He has a 2 second a lap faster pace than the LMP3s at the moment.
Yeah.
Really a 1 second a lap faster pace. Still faster pace than the LMP3s that are in front of him. So.
Joey Melitti here to see his adopted father on track, Chris Turner, who is going to try and give Tanner Schiffner and Kerry Nolan some room as they filter through.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Chris Turner is going to let Kerry Nolan right on through because, Ford gang, Tanner Schiffner just seems to be hanging on right now. Tanner Schiffner currently running in fourth. He's about a 1.3 seconds back from Corey Lobner. Actually taking a look at times right now. They're running about 4/10 faster than Corey right now. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I see that gap closing down. This might become a three-way fight for the bottom step of the podium here in just a couple laps.
Got what looks like some on-track shenanigans.
Boy.
Tim Mello.
Yeah.
All right. What happens here?
Yeah, Sean Sullivan right ahead of them.
Oh,
he has a self-spin, and then everybody chokes up to make sure they don't run into him.
Yep. And then Tim Mello's got to get going again.
Yep.
That is true, sir. You cannot park there. Kerry Nolan is in the pits.
In the pit lane?
Yep. Let's go see what happened here. What happened? Is that a pit stop for fuel, or are we doing? He's moving to the box.
Happened.
He's moving to the box. Something happened.
Yep.
Either his fuel numbers are not right, or something's up.
Yep. I wonder if he does not have the fuel number. Let's see how long he ends up in the box. Yep. I think the answer will be not long.
Yep.
9 seconds.
Yeah,
so
9.18 seconds. So, is that an indicator of things to come, Finn? We got 17 minutes.
Yeah, 17 minutes. We saw most of this field make it to the halfway mark before coming in for their first pit stop. So I have to imagine Kerry either underfueled, which is possible, but I don't understand how that would have happened.
Yep.
Because he looked like he took a similar pit stop time as the rest of the field. Or has come in to, and that's a sign that everybody else will be coming in a second time. I don't imagine they would be, though, because they came in after the halfway point for most of this field.
That is a good question. We will be finding out soon. Stay tuned. We've got 16 minutes left in this race. Tyler Torville is going to be going around Paul Miles, or so we thought. Going to get back in the draft as they get ready to go into the high-speed turn one. And this one right here, especially in the LMP3, man, that corner feels stressful.
It's definitely the corner I think we see really the difference in speed the most because of the different amounts of downforce these cars have, and then it really gets equated out when they have to slow down for the slow corner stuff, and they go at the same pace, or as they get into the acceleration and the GT3s sail right past them because they aren't trying to use their dishwashers, aka the traction control, like the LMP3s
Yep.
are.
As we are in these closing stages, and so you were saying you think everybody can hit the one-stop number, but what I'm curious about now is if we've got Kerry Nolan effectively doing, let's call it 14 laps, and then 14 laps to get to 28, right? So my question then is there really anywhere from a 4 to 5 lap difference in what everybody is thinking their number is? That part I'm kind of curious about, because Tommy Kogan, I think, is probably going to be fine to the number. He went 49, or he went 19 laps, and then spent almost 21 seconds in the box. So I think he may be good to the number, but I don't know if that's true for the Tyler Torvilles of the world, because that's a 2-lap difference. So
it is a 2-lap difference, but they came in on lap 17, which I think still was over halfway through the race.
yeah, it could just be that it could just be that it was a wrong number. Kerry just didn't hit the mark.
So I'm super curious if that is.
We're going to go back while you're looking at that. We're going to go back in time. We're going to take a look at Jake Fulton, currently running 4th in LMP3 AM in the penultimate corner, and the car doing that thing, doing that penultimate thing, and he can't get it turned without touching the wall. So he's just had to like back up and go forward and back up and go forward to get going again.
Yeah, I'm really curious if Kerry Nolan underfueled that car.
It could be
Accidentally, because he came in on lap 16.
John Newman having some dramatic moments, but I think he's got it. I think he's got it nailed down again. Ryan Nolan has had an absolute horrid feature race in terms of the handling of the number 7 Pretty Derby Lambo.
Oh,
yep, he just monster trucked the curb there. No biggie.
Yeah, I'm also watching Kerry Nolan try to navigate lap traffic alongside William Lewis and Chris Turner. It's going about as well
as you would expect,
as most multi-class has gone.
Kerry Nolan going into this left-hand hairpin. Alex Leonard and William Lewis bringing GT4 kind of back into the main screen here as they're duking it out for GT4 AM points. Currently battle for 4th going on here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
We gotta go take a look. Because it does look like LMP3 Pro getting a bit of a shakeup, but not enough to upset the top spots. Garrett Hillman has a moment, and he can get back out on track before he loses position. But man, I bet he was. I bet that was a bit of a moment. So Cole Gamma is currently trying to stay out in front of Brenton McFall. And we've got Owen O'Brien, second in GT4 Pro, kind of involved here as well.
Yeah, 'cause he's trying to keep going the right direction.
Yep. Jaden Ledbetter's in the
Jaden
pits.
He also does not go the distance.
We are about to pass the 1 hour mark.
Alex Leonard going to join those with issues right after that battle he was having with William Lewis. I wonder if he just mistimed that braking or throttle. Yeah.
Let's see what happened.
You'll see it here.
In the 696 machine, Alex Leonard getting ready to go into this right-hand open hairpin, and back end is just...
Yep.
We
just want to keeps going and loops it around.
Yeah, he's got to get it going again.
William Lewis, as well as Gian Cardoso joining those in the pit lane. He's got a black flag to serve for incident limits.
Gotcha.
Or something.
Or does he?
We'll see.
Tune in next week.
Cornesi has one. The question is whether or not it's a stop and go penalty or something worse.
So Cole Gamma trying to keep Brenton McFall from getting out of touch. This is the closest fight on track to watch.
Ooh, I wonder if they both got speeding on pit lanes.
That could do it. That could do it.
And William Lewis or Alex Leonard gonna slap on dry tires? Interesting.
I mean, give it a shot, right?
Yeah, why not?
Give it a go. Mr. Joey Melody in chat is need to learn how to fuel save. Well, what you do is drive a little slower.
Lift a little bit. It's not even drive slower. It's just lift a little earlier. That'll go a long way in fuel saving. I try it every now and then.
Yep.
Especially when I think it'll help. And it surprises me how effective just adding, a 50-meter lift is.
Another thing that's pretty good, especially in wet conditions, short shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Short shifting, getting a little lower RPM out of some corners. Looks like Cole Gamma going to find his way around Brenton McFall, who had a bit of a moment. So yeah, short shifting. Also short shifting in a downhill section. Think like out of La Source towards Eau Rouge. Good place to save some fuel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So as we hit the closing minutes, we're 7 minutes to the end of the race. Tyler Torville into the pits.
Ooh.
Yep. I'm telling you, dude, something felt fishy. Something felt fishy. So it's either, so let's see. He is crossing. Yeah, he's crossing into the slow lane. So I think he's got to stop and get fuel.
Yeah, okay. I wonder, as the track has continued to dry out, they are on the throttle more, which means that their fuel numbers are no longer accurate.
Yep.
Ooh, so interesting. Only in the box for 7 seconds, which about matches what we saw to Kerry Nolan, which means I think we'll see a lot of the GT3 category dive on in here.
And with that, so Tyler Torville rejoins the track, exiting the pit lane, goes into turn 1. Tommy Kogan right now sets his personal best, and he just went through turn number 1 too. So Tommy Kogan went 2 laps deeper into the race. Mm-hmm. So I say game on. If Tommy Kogan's managed to hit his numbers.
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
Oh man, this is 3 wide.
Oh God. John Newman's like,
I haven't, the witness protection money's in the mail. I can't deal with this right now. So Tommy Kogan now has cut the gap down to 3.7 seconds, but has not hit second time. Tyler Torville managed to get 34 laps deep. Now, here's the thing. We've got a little over, like almost 2 minutes a lap, and we've still got 5 minutes left in this race. Will we see more pit stops in the remaining 3 to 4 laps?
I think we will. I'd be super curious to see who can make it and who can't. Alex Leonard, his gamble on the dries, I think, was a little premature.
Yeah. He is watching the field go through the final, or go into the penultimate section. Jake Fulton labeled as crash. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, it's just one of the slowest slides. You'll see it here in a second. There it begins. And there it ends.
And Nick Bowen's like keeping it close. He's just going to buzz him real quick.
Yep.
Brenton McFall. Tommy Kogan. Tommy Kogan off. Is Corey Lobner going to find his way around? I think so.
Not quite.
Oh, not quite.
Darn close, though.
Yeah, pretty close.
They had a pretty large gap.
Yep.
Much like we saw at a lot of turn 1, much like the penultimate corner, turn number 2, into the first hairpin.
Corey Lobner
also
having a
catching
moment.
drivers out.
Corey Lobner had to check his steering rack real quick, make sure he was gonna keep it on the black stuff. Brenton McFall, Cole Gamma, still going at it. And this is for, correct me if I'm wrong, this is for 5th overall? Yeah, 5th overall in LMP3.
Yes.
Oh, we got people touching.
That's Tommy Kogan trying to get through all of them.
Yep. Tommy Kogan.
And then there's a Logan Branson right in front of them.
Was.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, was right in front of them.
He was.
Brendan McFall is the one that's in front of them.
I
got it backwards. John Newman in the background.
Benjamin O'Shea moving through some traffic as well. Relatives are starting to spread out a little bit. We're inside the final 3 minutes. We have yet to see if anybody else is going to try and pull a pit stop. Try and sneak one in.
Corey Lobner is going to have to come in. He's going to be the next in who does not make it to the end on the fuel margins they have set for themselves.
Tommy Kogan is starting to look like a gigabrain over here, going 2 laps deeper.
And then a black flag for incident limits for, I think, Benjamin O'Shea.
Which, that's going to be a big deal. Benjamin O'Shea is currently 17 seconds ahead of Garrett Hillman. And Paul Miles is actually closing in on Mr. Hillman. As they are trying to get around Victor Licha without getting sued by the Brazilian litigator.
That or continue to give evidence for Ligier's eventual cease and desist for calling their trash control a dishwasher.
Whoa, Logan Branson. Too fast, too furious in the right-hand hairpin. Benjamin O'Shea going into the pits to serve that penalty. So where's Tyler Torville in all this? Tyler Torville, he's in sector 3. I think he's going to come across the line. It will be white flag when he comes across the line. Let's see.
Certainly be.
Yeah. So. Ooh, Paul Miles having a moment.
Oh, and chaos.
Victor Leach is like, he's going to write a court order. Objection. Tanner Shifter
white
in the
flag
pits.
is going to be in the air for these drivers. Tanner Shifter going to join.
Pits under white flag conditions. Let's see what's going on here.
Same with Andrew Matthias.
Oh yeah, this is
also going to join them.
It's pretty big. Corey Lobner, Kerry Nolan just now coming around. Looks like the final corner. Let's see where Corey Lobner cycles out relative to Andrew Mathias, Tanner Schiffner. Tanner Schiffner moving to the
Off
cones
the
right
jacks.
now. Corey Lobner is going to make it around. Kerry Nolan's going to make it around Andrew
4
Mathias.
seconds.
But I don't think he's going to clear Tanner Schiffner. No, he does.
He
He
does clear it.
clears
Yep.
Tanner Schiffner as well. So the late pit stops catching a few people out.
Curious to see if Tommy Kogan has the ability to go the distance.
Yeah, Tommy Kogan is 53% through the lap right now.
Mm-hmm.
But can we talk about Tyler Torville's pace, right? Because
Oh my God, his rain pace has been insane.
yeah, Tyler Torville has been gone, and
the consistency there, just
yeah, navigating the
huge.
traffic in these conditions too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got a 8.3 second gap on Tommy Kogan as he's getting ready to come across the line down the start-finish straightaway. Tyler Torville taking the top spot in GT3. What a race for him. Tommy Kogan exiting the final corner right now with the one stopper, and it looks like he's going to be able to get the number 55 Sex Wedge home here at Navara. Corey Lobner, he's got a few corners to get through, but he still can make it. Jaden Ledbetter going to the pits, but he's in for a bit. Corey Lobner exiting final corner, and he's going to come across the line in third. Let's take a look at Paul Miles. Paul Miles right now, or not Paul Miles. Where is Luke Patrick?
Patrick.
Luke, we have not talked about the front end of the LMP3 Pro this entire race because they have been kind of scattered amongst the GT3s. Luke Patrick, no power, GP2 engine. McLaren, I'm telling you, GP2 engine.
Yep.
So yeah, Luke Patrick going to come across the line. He's going to take the top spot. LMP3 Pro.
Quiet race.
Benjamin O'Shea and Garrett Hillman, who both had very dramatic races.
Yes.
They're going to come across the line second and third, respectively, in LMP3 Pro. Paul Miles right now currently holding the top spot in LMP3 AM, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. Currently in the championships, he is at the head of that one. He gets to put a whole lap on the rest of the field in this race, but his consistency netted him a pretty solid finish and result here.
Yep. And that's going to put Paul Miles, Brenton McFall, Sean Sullivan as your top three, LMP3 AM. Ethan Hamlet, hard charge from the back of the field. He's chasing down Tommy Kogan right now, trying to give him a little bump, get him home.
Yeah, I think he's trying to push him back to the pit lane here.
Ethan Hamlet, Nick Bowen, Owen O'Brien, your top three, and then we've got Chris Turner, Frank Convertino, and Victor Licha in GT4 AM. With that, Ben, to the scenic cam.
And yeah.
So Navara, round 4.
Oh
dramatic, right?
Dramatic, fun, action-packed. That's my favorite thing about rain racing, I think, is every time we go to a rain race, there is usually something going on.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's good, bad, ugly, fantastic, good racing usually ending up in some kind of fun or dramatic end to battles that we see. It's always been a blast.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard from the feature race. Let's pull up those results from LMP3 Pro. Finn, take us through it.
Certainly easily done. 4 drivers here, all having fantastic races. A little bit more drama filled for some than others. But Luke Patrick going to take home the win there in the LMP3 Pro category. Benjamin O'Shea going to be second. Garrett Hillman going to have a fantastic run to round out the podium. And Cole Gamma just going to be off of it after a bit of a drama for him as well, and the battle and the consistency between the other drivers to round out that 4-car grid.
Over in LMP3 AM, we've got Paul Miles taking the top spot with Brenton McFall, Sean Sullivan rounding out the podium. Jake Fulton, Logan Branson are going to finish the race 1 and 2 laps down, respectively. Let's take a look at GT3s. Ben?
Absolutely. Bit of a chaotic one for these drivers. Tyler Turbo, however, going to get the most consistency and win this race. Tommy Kogan getting the fantastic Gigabrain one stop. We'll put him squarely in second ahead of Corey Laubner, rounds up the podium. Kerry Nolan, after gambling for the raw speed over any kind of fuel saving, gets himself up into fourth with Tanner Schiffner and Andrew Matthias going to be rounding out that fifth and sixth. Christopher Blue is going to be seventh there with with John Newman going to be in eighth. Gian Cardoso not far behind him in ninth, and then Ryan Nolan, I think, rounding out that 10-car grid.
All right, let's take a look at GT4 Pro now. GT4 Pro, we had 7 cars take the field. Ethan Hamlet charging from the back in the heat race. He's going to find himself on the top in the feature with Nick Bowen, Owen O'Brien rounding out the podium. Owen O'Brien, really good showing from
Mm-hmm.
a first race. So I think his pace was pretty good. I'm not sure how it's going to work in the drive form against someone like Ethan, but it's good to see some folks putting up some good numbers. And Nick Bowen in the feature really taking Owen to task there. Tim Mello is going to be in fourth with Robert Lewis in fifth after Robert Lewis got caught up in some shenanigans, but not sure what happened there, but still getting the 949 machine in the top 5 in GT4 Pro is going to be some good points with Jaden Ledbetter in 6th, Jake Hewitt in 7th, Tim Rosenfield, Scott Fleming did not take the green flag. Let's look at GT4 AM.
GT4 AM, a fantastic run for them as well. Chris Turner going to bring home the win there ahead of Frank Convertito, who had a fantastic first time out. Much like we talk about Owen O'Brien. Good work there for those two newcomers. Victor Lecce going to round out the podium there with William Lewis and Alex Leonard rounding out that 5-car grid. William Lewis joining the McLarens, who all seem to have issues in the rain here. A interesting development for these drivers. And then Alex Leonard making that switch to dries, I think, was a little early, and that I think is how we saw him and as far down as he did.
Excellent. Let's pull up the info. Yep, round number 4 is a wrap here at Navara. Just want to remind everybody, next week we will be back with the 90-minute feature, round 5, starting the back half of the season, Le Mans. Should be an exciting one, 90 minutes.
So much fun.
Yeah, no, dude. I think, I'm going to need to talk with the historians here at Track Limits Racing. I'm curious if that's our first race at Le Mans.
I think if we look at, I believe it is. I think it's in our, the way that they've organized all this, that it ends up being the first appearance for Track Limits, at least.
Yes, it is our first time at Le Mans, oui, as Gian Cardoso would say in chat. So yeah, that'll be next weekend, August 22nd. Same Track Limits time, same Track Limits channel. But yeah, really good showing here at round number 4. I was super excited about it. I'm just kind of curious. With the back half of the season getting started, Finn, what are you most excited to see?
Oh man, I think a lot of the stuff we talk about in the championship points and the standings. I think seeing how the drop rounds will begin, kind of bringing those battles back together, are going to be a pretty fun jump here as we dive into 3 new tracks. I think pretty much back to back from the 24 Hours Le Mans to Algarve and Portimao, and then finally going out to Barcelona. 3 fun tracks, 3 super technical ones. I say super technical. 24-hour Le Mans, the Le Mans circuit is always such a mixed. There's so much to it. It's one of the longest tracks on iRacing. It's the longest one I think we'll be into for track limits for sure. But it'll be. It's such a power circuit because of the Mulsanne straight, but it's also got a huge amount of technicality at the front and back end of that Mulsanne straight. So it's not to be discounted that it's not got some really fun technical driving to be included amongst all that. There just happens to be a pretty long straight at the back end to let you collect your thoughts at least a little bit in between the chicanes. So I think it'll be a fun one all the same. I think it'll be interesting to see how these cars all handle it, given usually we see a little bit faster machinery at that, where the slowest car is the GT3, but now it'll be the middle car amongst the LMP3s. And I think it'll be super fun to see how the Volkswagen Straight treats all those, because I'm pretty sure the LMP3s will, I'm fairly certain will hit the
Struggle.
rev limiter sooner. Yeah,
Yeah.
hit the rev limiter sooner than the GT3. So I'm curious to see how that'll be. That'll play out. But I think it'll be a fantastic run. The championship battles are already close. They'll only get closer when you add in the drop rounds. So just so much to play for these drivers. So much to look forward to from both a driving and broadcasting perspective. I think it's gonna be a fantastic one. What are you excited for in the back half of the season?
I mean, I'm excited for, honestly, I really want to see um racing at Portimao. I think Portimao will be pretty cool. It's just such a different track.
Mhm.
Like, I think the
It
only
is.
track, I think the only track where we get kind of like a comparable experience, and to say comparable, it's like they're very different tracks.
Mhm.
Excuse me, had to sneeze. Didn't want to do that in anyone's face, but or ears, but
Appreciate it on both fronts.
yeah. I think it's like Sonoma, like the elevation change is
Yeah,
it's just
Sonoma,
pretty wild.
Atlanta. I think is also not too dissimilar in some ways. I think it's definitely much like those two, or you want to get into like the most extreme end, the Nürburgring or Bathurst. I think it's another one that has I don't think has, or sorry, it's one of the ones I think has the most elevation change of the circuits on iRacing,
Yeah.
and it's hard to compare it to a lot of the other flatter circuits. Um, as a result, Fuji, I would say, also it has a deceptive amount of elevation, especially when it comes to the beginning and end of the circuits.
Yeah.
Um, It's super fun in that regard too. But like I think, like you said, Portimao is so unique because almost every corner has an elevation change.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it never stops. It's so much fun. Spent 6 hours there yesterday. Would do it again in a heartbeat if I wasn't going to get murdered by more HPDs.
Indeed. We should get set up to send it over to someone, Finn.
Yes.
So we've got somebody we've sent it over to before. He's running the V Pro Bathurst 1000 right now. Mr. Habo 88. Go say hi to him from. Oh, do you want me to send it to Quirk? I'll send it to Quirk. Not a big deal. What is Quirk up to right now? Let's see what Quirk's up to. Oh, he's doing IMSA GT3 at Daytona. Now that's pretty exciting. I will sign us up for that one.
Wait, the options were
Bathurst
the
1000
VA
or
Pro Bathurst 1000 or IMSA Daytona. Jesus, all right.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
We'll see.
Here's the thing. I know people like their GT3s, and I know there's definitely
Mhm.
some folks from, the more humid parts of the country that are really big into Daytona.
Mhm.
Not gonna name names, Joey Malitti. But yeah, so we'll get you guys set up. Go say hi to Quirk. Daytona, GT3s, America, Bald Eagles. So yeah. What did Joey do? He didn't do anything. I mean, he's raised in Florida, so, or I mean, he's in Florida, so I mean, you can work the rest of it out. But yeah, from everyone at Track Limits Racing, thank you so much for being with us for round number 4 here at Navara. We'll see you all next week, August 22nd, at Le Mans. If you're interested at all, check out the site, check out the Discord. Until then, take it easy. Have a good night.